Disney CEO Bob Iger says Disney is just bad at video games, but actually, are they? The answer lies in Disney's long and erratic approach to game development. Their first crack at the game biz was Walt Disney Computer Software, founded in 1988. They wanted to publish a game to coincide with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was due in theaters in 9 months. But they couldn't find a developer willing to do it in such a short time. So they had to do it in-house, the game dev equivalent of a shotgun wedding. The Who Framed Roger Rabbit game was a huge success and made a ton of money despite the short turnaround, which gave Disney an idea. What if? More money. Games at this time were mostly cartridge-based, which meant investing in manufacturing and shipping, and that's like a great way to not get money immediately. So Disney licensed out their IP to consoles and set WDCS to work on computer games and software. Disney Presents the animation studio was a big seller, and proved that there was something to this whole software idea. Early on, WDCS had a lot of freedom because they were small and they could just be ignored. As they became more successful, and as games became like a larger economic force, they drew more attention from the higher-ups, like the Eye of Sauron turning on Frodo. See you. According to employees at this time, it was nearly impossible to get projects approved, because Disney didn't know what it wanted to do with this whole concept of games. WDCS would lay dormant with no projects for over a year in the early 90s. Then in 93, Disney licensed out Aladdin to Sega. But they did the animation in-house with digitization from Virgin Interactive. The Aladdin game made a thick stacks, selling over 4 million copies, reminding Disney once again that, oh right, money. So in '94, WDCS and its 8 remaining employees became Disney Interactive. All development moved in-house, more staff was hired, and they started cranking out entertainment and edutainment. But then in 1997, the winds shifted again. Game development costs were rising, but more importantly, Disney's new financial standards led to a quarter of Disney Interactive staff being laid off, about 90 people. They went back to dealing with just PC games and let other companies handle consoles. In some cases, like Kingdom Hearts, the projects were quasi-collaborative. Disney provided talent and guidance for their IP.
Okay, we'll finish it together.
But quality was an issue. Not every licensed Disney game was a Kingdom Hearts. Plus, PC games and edutainment weren't exactly rich veins compared to the console market. So in 2002, new leadership took over and started to spin up the old in-house development windmill again. 2 Disney-developed Game Boy Advance projects were published and did well, so Disney was like, fuck it, go crazy. And expand they did. Disney acquired Avalanche Studios in 2005, BlackRock Studios Limited in 2006, Junction Point and the Club Penguin property in 2007, GameStar in 2008, Wide Load Games in 2009, Tabulous and Playdom in 2010, and LucasArts in 2012. And they were developing their own studios at the same time. Propaganda Games in 2005 and Fall Line Studios in 2006. It was like the Winchester Mystery House approach to studio development. If you look at that list and think to yourself, that's too much, then you're pretty much in line with the rest of Disney. This studio golem had some successes. Hannah Montana on the Nintendo DS sold over 1 million copies. But Disney's attempts to chase the young male audience with new IP never quite matched those numbers. And the animation licenses weren't as valuable. Gone were the halcyon days of Aladdin. It was the mid-2000s bog of DOA franchises and low-quality sequels. Remember Home on the Range? No. Nobody remembers Home on the Range. Plus, by the late 2000s, the game landscape had once again shifted. Facebook and mobile gaming were lucrative markets that Disney wasn't in. Thus came the reaping. Hundreds of jobs and a myriad of in-development titles, with Disney Interactive Studios itself officially closing in May 2016.
And we've found over the years that we haven't been particularly good at the self-publishing side, but we've been great at the licensing side, which obviously doesn't require that much allocation of capital. And since we're allocating capital in other directions, we've just decided that the best place for us to be in that space is licensing.
That brings us to the present and to the question at hand. Is Disney just bad at video games? They're often a few steps behind the rest of the industry, going into PCs when consoles are popping off, missing the moment on Facebook gaming. On the other hand, Disney Infinity was successfully on top of the Toys to Life trend before that market fell out. More than anything, Disney is big enough that it could weather changes in the game market if it wanted to. It's less about being good at games and more about a conservative business strategy. Disney only really has 3 options. 1, license their properties out. 2, stick their thumb in the game pie and hope to pull out a big old plum. Or 3, some mixture of Disney oversight on their licensed properties like they had with Aladdin and Kingdom Hearts. But pure licensing will always be the safest, if the least profitable option. Consider Star Wars Battlefront 2. The fallout of the loot box debacle rained down on EA games, while Disney hung out in the fallout shelter of hands-off licensing. So will Disney pivot back to self-publishing anytime soon? Given that Iger is the wellspring for this whole Disney is bad at games water, probably not. At least until his contract is up in 2021. Who knows what the game plan for the next leader will be. That said, it's unlikely we'll see any games, in-house or licensed, that are closely linked to Disney's movie franchises. Take, for instance, Square Enix's Avengers game.
The Avengers were everything I imagined.
Clearly, it has nothing to do with the multi-billion-dollar franchise Disney has developed for the last decade. Who are these people? Who are these strangers? That is not my beautiful Hulk. But honestly, there's no way this game could connect to the MCU. It was announced January 2017. Here's all the movies that have come out in the Marvel Universe between that announcement and this moment. Wow, it's too many. It would be impossible to anticipate the changes in the MCU far enough in advance for the long AAA game production cycle. Not to mention adjusting for audience reactions. Remember how Marvel released Black Panther in February because they thought nobody would care? Basically, the game can't be a part of the same universe. The best it can do is wait for characters to become big in the MCU and then ride that wave into DLC content. So if you can't tie your game release to your massive movie universe, why not just offload it? Let some other developer deal with it. Or maybe in 5 years, Disney will release a Battle Royale game and then Thanos can guest star in that instead of Fortnite.